Alpha 2 leader, this is Alpha 2-1, over.
Roger that, Alpha 2-1. What's your status, over?
The Iraqis have been making probing attacks for the past hour. Don't know how much longer I can hold this position, over.
Understood, Alpha 2-1. Withdraw to position blue, and we'll be with you in 10 minutes. Hold your position until our arrival. Over.
Roger that, Alpha 2 leader. Falling back to position blue, over.
Go, I'll hold them off.
Alpha 2, priority message. The Emir's emergency beacon has just activated at a marketplace 200 meters to your west. He's in immediate danger. You must get to him now. Control out.
The Emir and his entourage have been ambushed by forward elements of the Iraqi invading force. Get to the ambush spot and rescue the Emir before he is captured or killed. The Iraqi forces have deployed Russian-made BMPs and T-62 main battle tanks in Kuwait City. Destroy any you encounter. Cpl Connors, your heavy weapons specialist, is waiting for you at position blue. Rendezvous with him as soon as possible. Get the Emir and your team to the extraction point, where an RAF helicopter will fly you to safety.
Infantry spotted.
Hello everybody. Welcome back to some more Conflict Desert Storm. I'm just going to change the audio real quick, just to make sure it's a little bit clearer. I think it was a little bit too loud in episode 1, so you couldn't hear my voice as well. But this is part 2. And we're already off to an action-packed start with Foley taking out an enemy up there. Now, as we run up a little bit more to about this red van, some enemies are going to come around the corners. And we're just going to wait for them to come around, and we're going to get the drop on them. Run up just a little bit more, don't want to run up too quickly. But enemies will run round. There should be 2 or 3 of them that come around the corner. There we are. Bradley's got the first one. And I got the second one there. Rightio. Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the Emir, and then we're going to clear out the area, and then we're going to cover off Foley's equipment. This is the first time we've had Foley fully equipped for a mission since mission 1. Now, just as a little note here, there is an enemy up on this walkway, and he can cause all sorts of trouble, so we now need to actually heal up with Foley. I'll just leave Bradley there, and we'll run over and we'll grab the Emir. He's right here behind these boxes, and he now becomes a party member for the rest of this mission. So he's a bit of baggage actually. He has no weapons. You cannot play as him. You cannot move him. So you can go as the Emir, but I'm not actually controlling him just now. He is following Foley, and he will do so unless Foley gives him a certain command. But let's look into it. Foley's got his kit bag. He looks a lot better than he does in mission 1. If we have a look at him. His face isn't all battered up like it was last time. It's not perfect due to the nature of the graphics of a 2002 game, but let's go through his equipment. So Foley has a PSG-1 sniper rifle, a semi-auto rifle just like what he had in the first episode. It'll one-shot anyone if you shoot them in the body or the face, and it'll mostly one-shot them if you shoot them in the legs or arms as well. Just like Bradley, he has 2 frags, he's got 2 smoke grenades, and he's got a Beretta Model 92 pistol. This is not suppressed. So it's just as loud as any other unsuppressed weapon, again, and we want to avoid using pistols because they're not that great generally. And he's also got a backup combat knife and some medkits, so just like Bradley essentially, except he's got a sniper rifle rather than the M16. But we're off to a roaring start. Now as you see here, we're in a built up city in this mission of safe passage, and I just ran right through the Emir. We start off there and fight about 5 or 6 enemies just at the start here, that one up there. 2 round the corner here, 2 round the corner there, and there's one that sits right up here, but Foley took him at the very start because I immediately put him on fire at will. And you can see here we have 3 options. We can either go around this far side, around this middle side, or around this side. I much prefer this side, and I'm assuming most people do as well, because as we go round here, I want to make sure there's no other enemies. Okay, we're nice and clear. There are 2 RPGs sitting here, which is very convenient for us, because there also is a BMP coming up. There's infantry that comes around the corner first, so we want to deal with them first. That guy hobbling away is a civilian, so we definitely don't want to kill him, or those 2 guys. So you can tell with the civilians because they don't have any weapons, and they're all generally running with the injured animation. But we're just going to wait here. A BMP is going to come up this hill, it'll park around here, and then we're just going to take it out. But there are some enemies that come up first, so we're perfectly fine to use our assault rifle for now. We'll swap over to the RPG when I hear the tank coming. I can hear it starting to rumble a little bit, so that means the BMP is on its way up the hill. I want to get the drop on it, I don't want it to hit me. You'll notice I've also parked Foley quite far away, just in case he gets hit. And there we are, BMP's gone. I will take Foley and Emir round to this corner here. I'm not going to take them any further past it, because we're going to get a stealth kill, just as I promised. And Foley just vaulted off that off that set of stairs. I'm going to take Bradley round this side. So this is the back entrance, as you saw here. If I run up here, this is essentially a way to avoid the tank and go around the back. There's not much benefit to it. There are no weapons on the back here. You're just as fine going around the way that I showed you, because there's 2 RPGs sitting there. It's an easy access to the tank. Now there is a Ural truck there. We are going to take it out, but we're going to grab our cool little stealth kill first. So we want to crouch because enemies do have pretty good hearing in this game. If you are running, they will turn around and they'll give a notification that they have heard you, sort of like, huh? So we don't want them to do that. So I do have the option of either shooting him in the head with my silent pistol, and that will constitute a stealth kill. But that's nowhere near as cool as doing the knife animation, which we're going to do right now. He won't turn around, by the way. If I sit here for 5 minutes, he'll stay there. And a stealth kill. Fantastic. Now, right over there, you'll see on the right hand side of my screen, there's a window right there. Now, there is an enemy at that window. I'm going to keep a Bradley here. I'm going to take Foley and Emir this way, because enemies will run up that road, and Bradley will get the drop on them from that window. Now, see it? Right there. The guy shouted, huh? Which meant that he heard Foley running. So now he's actually got to be a little bit more alert, and he's got to turn and face whatever he heard, in whichever direction that he heard the noise come from. So we're going to crouch away up here. We don't want to alert him again, and I doubt we'll be able to snag a stealth kill. He generally faces away from the window when he hears that noise. Yes, he did. So I'm going to actually use a frag grenade here. There we go, because that's actually a potentially difficult little section just there. And right here, Foley has the drop on all enemies coming up along there. And as you can see, Bradley had to reload because he took out a few enemies coming up the road. There were 2 of them. Now just here, we're going to destroy this Ural truck for just a bit of experience. This truck, by the way, won't spawn any more enemies. It's just solely sitting there. But it's another thing that we can destroy. So, I'll just park Bradley here. And on this table right here, another RPG, fantastic. And we have our first instance of a Dragunov, a sniper rifle. So, this is just like the Foley's current sniper rifle, except it's 10 rounds, semi-automatic, shoots a little bit faster than the PSG, and pretty much has the exact same sort of mechanics. It's got the same scope, same appearance, but it does shoot a little bit faster and it's got a larger magazine. So, we're happy days we're taking that, and there's also a medkit on this table. So, we're going to grab the guys, and we're going to go continue down this road. So we've already got off to a great start. We've taken down a lot of enemies, we've destroyed the tank. Now the most important thing we're going to do is, we're wanting to turn right here, but there are 2 enemies at the end of this road here. So we're going to drop a cool little rifle grenade on them. Just going to wait for Foley to come around the corner a little bit. One of them should be crouched down. Oh, don't want that. One of them will be crouched down, and one of them will be standing. Yep. And that's them both taken out. A guy came out behind us, but that's okay. Foley dealt with him very, very quickly. And now we've destroyed those two guys. Now, if you remember what I showed you in the last episode, if you look to the bottom right, you can see a lot more. And as you can see at the very end of that road, there's a BMP, but just before it, there's Connors. Now, you could try and use an RPG from this distance, but a lot of the time it's just a lot more inaccurate. And we can get quite a lot closer before that tank starts attacking us, as you can see right there. So I'll try an RPG from this distance. And as you can see, it didn't work from that distance. Whoa! And the tank definitely got us there. Thankfully, Connors is invincible until he becomes a member of the squad. And right now, we've got Connors. So that was very close. So I'm going to run around this corner. There should be an enemy. Okay, he's been taken out. And we're going to get a little bit closer, get this RPG off in this tank. There we go, finally taken down. As you can see, since I was using Bradley, who doesn't have much experience with, or any skill with anti-tank weapons, he's not the most accurate. Now enemies are going to keep spawning for a while here, so we're going to want to rush down this area and close it off. And then we'll go over Connors' equipment. Because Connors is the best. Now we'll take this lad down. We're going to place Foley just now and get a bit of use out of him. Because right up here at the corner of this building, enemy sniper taken down. Taken down using a Dragunov, the irony. So let's cover Connors. Connors is the opposite of Foley. He's our heavy weapons specialist. He has the most HP out of the team, but is also the slowest moving. Connors obviously is the big lad. He has an M60 machine gun, full auto. He is the squad support guy. If you have an area where enemies keep on filtering out, lie Connors down, take aim, and he'll just blast everything that comes along. This weapons is fantastic. It just cuts them down. Just like Bradley and Foley, he has frag grenades, he's got smoke grenades. He starts off with 3 Law rocket launchers, which is fantastic because now we need some after missing 2 on this BMP. He has a Desert Eagle as his pistol because why not? Again, this pistol is much stronger than other pistols, but again, you want to avoid using it. It's not super accurate, and it's semi-auto, so if you miss a shot, it can leave you a bit vulnerable. He's also got a combat knife and 6 medkits. So we're going to get our first taste of properly using Connors. And as we run up here, we saw during the little intelligence briefing that there's a main battle tank. Now this is different from the BMPs. If you see at the top of my screen, there is a mounted machine gunner on it. We're going to take him out. But now the main turret's going to turn around and look at us. So that machine gunner is on a heavy machine gun turret. The tank won't shoot at me, even though it's looking. It can't specifically see me, so it doesn't really fire blind shots in this game. So you're all right, and the tank won't really fire blind shots ever in any of the missions. But if it looks like that, like a main battle tank, the only way to guarantee a kill on it with a rocket launcher that's either a Law 66 or a Law 80 when we get that in the future, or the RPG-7, is if you shoot it in the rear. If you shoot it in the front or the side or the turret, you can one-shot it, but it is not a guaranteed one-shot. Now, with Connors, he's more likely to one-shot the tanks if he shoots them in the front or the sides compared to other guys, because he has some skill with the rocket launcher. It makes it do more damage. But with everyone, no matter what your skill level is, you can shoot a tank like this, the T-62, or later on with like T-72s, you can shoot them in the rear, and it will pick up a kill. So we're going to shoot this one in the rear because it's not facing us. Guarantees the kill. We'll get the team to follow, and then we'll rush on. Because we're actually nearing the end of the mission. This one last slot down here, we'll get to the end of here. And by the way, there's 2 enemies here. One right there. By the way, that's just a news helicopter. It doesn't really do anything. So Connors doesn't have the most accuracy. Connors doesn't have the most accuracy there. You'll find that Connors with his machine gun really isn't that accurate. But he generally doesn't take on enemies at that sort of distance. He's a sort of mid-distance character, because he lays down just so much firepower, which you're about to witness. Just now, as we get to this corner, a lot of enemies are going to start spawning and coming around the 2 corners. One round this side, and one on this side. Yeah, and enemies spawn inside this sort of area just there. So we're going to get up here. We're going to position the guys far away from each other so they do not get killed by a grenade explosion, as we almost all did by that exploding car that the BMP got earlier. And this is what Connors is best at, lying down, shooting everything in sight. We're going to move up with Bradley and have Connors and Foley on fire at will. I'll have Bradley hug this right hand side and look around the left. I'll do the exact same with Connors, hug the left side and look to the right, and then I'll move Foley up, because we don't want to get caught on the sly here. Fantastic. Excellent. So see that? There's some enemies right there. But Bradley's caught them on the corner, which is exactly what we're looking for. Going to get Bradley to run up now, and now we're going to bring Connors along. So we've managed to make it round the corner without those enemies getting us, and that's the end of this mission, guys. So we have 3 of our 4 team now. We've successfully managed to get the Emir to the extraction zone. Bradley got a promotion. Nothing for Foley, and nothing for Connors, but that's okay. So, John Bradley is now a Sergeant Major. Foley and Connors are still corporals, but let's actually have a look at the guy's stats for the games. So far, it's just Bradley with a medal, but that's okay. So Bradley's been hit 10 times total, never went down. Foley goes down again, he's not tanky. If Bradley had Foley's HP, the whole team would have wiped during that explosion. And as I mentioned in the last episode, explosions are the bane of the team. I mentioned that very early on, and explosions can kill the whole team. As you can see there, I mentioned in the last episode, Foley's accuracy was only 8% because he was using that turret, but now it's 61% because he only used a sniper rifle for this mission. As you can see, 27% there and 15%. That's a general theme that goes through this. Connors will have the least amount of accuracy because he fires as many bullets down as possible, but he's super tanky. He got hit 5 times. I barely needed to heal him up at all, and he just takes hits like a champ. He's your tank essentially. Foley at the back and you snipe everything, and Bradley is your middleman. But the team done very well there. But looking at stats wise, Connors is mainly a machine gunner, so anything that constitutes him as a machine gun. There are more in the future. There are about 4 or 5 weapons that constitute as being a machine gun, and Connors is an expert with all them. Anti-tank is literally anything that's a rocket launcher or a grenade essentially, and he's also partly a medic as well. So that's it. That's mission 2. We've successfully completed that, and thanks again for watching.